All right, Harry. You can see this?
Yep.
All right, beauty. So we got the charts up. So last week we were looking at, or no, Monday we were looking at Bitcoin, some of the projections that we had on Bitcoin, some of the fibs that we're looking at. So for you guys that are, in shambles right now, worried about where the market is going, if you look at this chart and what we had done for this past 8 month range of hell, right? You held through this, you bought through this, you were able to survive this entire, just fucking depression zone. If you're able to survive all this, and then you look at this breakout that we had in November, okay, the beginning of November to where we're at now, does that chart looks like it's going down, or does that chart looks like it's going to continue to go higher? Right? I think a 5-year-old could probably answer that question, right? So the point is that local price action, it's not the end of the world. What I would be worried about is if you saw Bitcoin starting to do something like this, where you're just literally losing levels and making lower lows. So, you come up maybe here, then down here, then down here, because you're doing lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, and doing something like that, right? And nuke. Sure, that would be scary, but that's clearly not the trend that Bitcoin is in right now. The trend is pretty obviously higher low. Whoops. You rat. Hold on. It's clearly higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Oops. Higher low, or higher high, and then higher low. And then what do you think is going to be next, right? So the trend is pretty obvious. It's not like we had broken our trend and we're starting to nuke, or we're into a downtrend, et cetera, et cetera. It was a local volatility spike, and therefore you get the volatility to the downside because it was bearish news. So there's nothing wrong with Bitcoin. There's nothing wrong with the asset class. We just nuked a little bit. So the question is now, what is going to be our bottom? Which it looks like if we go on a lower time frame, we may have put it in. So when Bitcoin, the lowest it had nuked was 98.7, right? It's the one other point I'm going to make too with Bitcoin. Literally a week or two ago, me and Logan are on Zoom. He knows what I'm going to say. We're on Zoom watching Bitcoin break $100,000 for the first time ever, right? When Bitcoin broke $100,000, we were losing our minds, celebrating. Oh my gosh, this is amazing, fantastic, great. Now we're back at $100,000 Bitcoin, which was the greatest thing ever just 2 weeks ago. Now everybody's like, oh shit, are we going lower? Is it over, etc.? We're still over 100K. 2 weeks ago, 100K was like a fucking prophecy, or this myth that would never happen, right?
Can you can you measure the price change if you zoom out, or if you put just a little bit more of the chart on screen? Just the price change on the 2 or 3 pullbacks that we've had on the way up here.
Yeah, so like this one right here.
Yeah, just to get an idea of how much it's pulled back previously. So 12.5%. And then there was the one before that.
All right, and then this one right here.
Yeah, from the top. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, you guys see, it's like this isn't the first time it's happened. And this is just what I think the first one was at the end of November.
Mm-hmm.
That first one you have marked out there. So it's not like this has been over the course of months. It's like this has happened 3, maybe if you include that other one in the middle, 4 times on
Right.
the way up so far since Bitcoin's broken out in the past, just in the past month, less than the past month. This is like the last 25 days.
Right.
So it's like this has already happened 3 or 4 times. I think the only difference is this time everything dumped
Right.
along with Bitcoin,
Right.
because obviously the news yesterday affects more than just the Bitcoin chart. But this time, I think it hit a little bit harder because everyone felt it. It didn't matter if you were in legacy markets. It didn't matter if you de-risked into Bitcoin and Ethereum. If you were in altcoins, tech coins, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone felt it. So I think that's the big difference.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the pullback on majors, it's like it's happened 3 or 4 times. What's the difference? Because your bags got hit a little bit harder. Now you think it's over.
Correct. Exactly. No, that's exactly what it is. And the Nasdaq, I mean, I'm looking at it right now. Nasdaq's up 1% already today. So I mean, it's literally one day of a G. And
Mm.
and historically in crypto, I mean, we're looking at it right now. It pulled back from the highs 8.6%. That's nothing. That's nothing. 8% in crypto is nothing. That's fucking nothing. So it wasn't even bad. That's what I'm saying. I'm looking at it and thinking my bags are still way fatter than what they were a couple of months ago. So this is not really like, what is everybody freaking out about? And it's not that everybody was freaking out about it. It's just people who aren't used to these markets or haven't been involved in something like this for that long. For them, they were thinking, well, what the hell's going on? So, yeah, it's not going to be up only for 3 or 4 months straight. Wouldn't that be a little bit too easy?
Bitcoin was putting in 10% positive days on the way up, and everyone was loving the volatility.
Loving it. Exactly. Yes, you want volatility to the upside. Well, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Guess what? You're going to have just as much volatility to the downside. That's why people can't stomach these crypto markets, or they just can't see themselves holding through long periods of time because that downside volatility is just too much for them to stomach. I just want to map this out too, just so you guys understand what a real pullback on Bitcoin looks like. You want to see a real fucking pullback? Can you handle something like this? This was from a couple of months apart. There's your pullback. You want to see a pullback on Bitcoin? There's your pullback right there. Last cycle, it was actually more than that. I didn't even get the top of it. Yeah, right up here. Hold on. There it is. 55% pullback. So from the first top in 2021, so this is the cycle top for Bitcoin, or local top for Bitcoin at April 14th, 2021. It hit, what was that, $65,000. Just a couple of months later, the same year, October 23rd, and then November 9th, 2021. This was the cycle top at 68,000. Right, this is within the same year, within a couple of months. Bitcoin was at 65 and then 69,000. In between that, you had a nuke on Bitcoin 55%. That's a fucking pullback. Okay? So just to give you some context in terms of what happened yesterday. So 55% compared to 8%? Yeah, player. Actually, that wasn't shit. That wasn't shit yesterday. Boys, we're going to have a bigger pullback than that coming next year. So you better start to mentally prepare yourself for that kind of pullback, because now ideally on a pullback like this, yeah, you would have taken profits towards the top and you would have cheated, sell in May, go away, then come back and buy this dip. Yeah, that's true. You do want to do that. That would be the ideal scenario. But up here, you're not going to sell, try to guess when there's going to be an 8% pullback and then try to guess whenever it's going to bottom and then get back into the market. It doesn't make any sense, right? So that's just some context for you in terms of what is to come, right? All right. All right, bees. So that's pretty much good for Bitcoin. We talked about targets for that. So you